Anthonyedwards, man. What the fuck are you doing, man? Derapy. I want to cut Anthonyedwards some slack because he is a very, very, very young person. He is 22 years old. He's about like my little sister's age.
Well, he's a young person cutting some slack.
But here's the thing, brother.
Oh.
Let me just get this out of the way, okay? In case you don't know who Anthonyedwards is, he is a NBA superstar, super rich, super successful, very talented, so good at dunking and acting, may I add. But if you are watching this video or listening to this podcast, you probably already know who this guy is, okay? So I'm not going to waste any time. This man got caught up in some messy business, brother. I just want to get this out of the way. I just want to say this before I forget. Don't ever, as a famous person, text somebody anything that you would not want publicized, because what you are about to see and hear, I wouldn't have even believed it. The reason why I didn't drop this like right around the time that this happened is because I actually didn't believe it. Like, it was textbook unbelievable, okay? So basically what we're about to do is go through a conversation that happened between Anthonyedwards and a Miss Paige Jorday. From what I can see here, she is an Instagram model of sorts, okay? And I just want to say this off rip. It is completely okay as an NBA superstar or just famous man in general to want to get down with an Instagram gal, okay? But this behavior that we are about to examine in these text messages...
Try again.
In these text messages...
There you go.
Stop. You know what? Let's just do it. These are text messages that were screenshotted and then shared to Paige Jordan's Instagram story. She sends him a picture of a positive pregnancy test and says, "I still have an appointment on the 27th. Anthonyedwards responds, "Hell no, can't do this." Right from the jump, like, bro, show a little bit of compassion. I mean, the woman is pregnant with your child. She says, "So now what?" What a great response. Anthonyedwards replies with, and this is why it's important that these screenshots are public, and this is going to be on YouTube. If he didn't come out and apologize for this, I would not have assumed this was real. This man replies with, stop the music, "Get a abortion, LOL." Of all the things you could possibly say to somebody that just told you that they are pregnant with your child.
1, 2, 3.
I'm speechless. This is why I should probably like write a script for these videos.
Man, what?
Now I know what you're thinking. This is terrible. This is like one of the stupidest, most embarrassing things I've ever seen or heard of a person doing. It gets so much worse. Bring the music back. After he says, "Get a abortion, LOL," Paige remarkably keeps her cool and states, "Honestly, I had an abortion with my son around 2 years ago, and I regret it every day." And Anthonyedwards so gently replies, "Man, you can't force a kid into the world. You don't know what it is yet." Paige so patiently replies, "That's not the point. I said I had an abortion 2 years ago, and I regret it." Anthonyedwards, who must be just in complete panic mode at this point and is solely speaking from a state of self-preservation, says confidently, "Yeah, but I don't want a kid." So Paige relaxes, puts the business hat on, and gets to work. Being cool to you is just going to get an abortion by myself and you not doing shit and going about your day. That's being cool to you. Obviously, you've been through this before just by your reaction. Now, this is just my personal play-by-play. Clearly, like, Paige has gotten to a point where she feels comfortable enough to assess the situation, not take it personally that Anthonyedwards is being the literal worst person you could possibly be about this, and is just coming from a place of like, oh, this is like a child that doesn't understand the magnitude of this, and maybe he has other people handle this for him. And let's just see what's going to happen next. Maybe from previous experience, Anthonyedwards just gets down to business and just simply says, "I'll send you some money to help you out." Paige replies with, "I didn't ask for it, but okay." You just don't want a baby? Is that why you're saying all this? Because I've been cool with you. Here's where some of the hurt is starting to show. It's one thing if you're freaking out and you don't want to have a baby and you feel like you have to be very stern and harsh about it because you want to show how serious you are. But based on this specific message, it seems like they have some type of relationship that wasn't just like him sticking it in her every once in a while, and they have some level of like rapport or trust between them. So at this point, she's like, I thought we were cool. Anthonyedwards is feeling anything but chill and blankly says, I don't want kids. Let's handle this like grown-ups. Which, of all of the silly things we've been through so far, might be the funniest thing about this. So absolutely rich, coming from the guy that said, get a abortion, LOL, is now saying, let's handle this like grown-ups. Shut the f. So Paige replies by saying, okay, I'm not trying to force you to be a dad to a baby you don't want. I just don't like abortions. That doesn't make me wrong. If you really don't want to do this, then fine, I won't. Say what you want about Paige in the comments, to your friends, to your lover, to your mama. You can say what you want about her getting knocked up by a 22-year-old idiot that just so happens to be really good at basketball, okay? But it's very, very, I think, generous of her to be as warm to Anthonyedwards about this as she is being. She already talked about a different abortion that she had and how traumatic it was for her. She said she thinks about it all of the time. This guy is saying, get an abortion, LOL, as if, I don't know if you're listening to this and you've had an abortion or you know anybody that's had one. I have had, I don't even want to say the privilege, just the experience of talking to somebody that's had an abortion before. I've talked to probably 2 or 3 people that have. They talk about it as if it was World War I. Like it's the worst thing that ever happened to them. Most people that have abortions, it's probably the worst thing physically that they've ever had to go through. You could argue it's worse than having a child because when you have a child, there's the miracle of childbirth and you get to raise a beautiful human being. An abortion is generally not like a cool thing to have to go through. And Anthonyedwards today, Junior, poo-poo it like, oh, just get an abortion, LOL, is like kind of insane. And she is handling this as well as you possibly could. But don't worry, it still gets worse. Our boy Ant follows up with, just take the pills. Like, this is so inconvenient for him, as if like he didn't have anything to do with it. Paige replies, you don't care about anyone but you. Ant says, you got the money, what's the hole up? Now, me personally, I'm not even gonna do it right then. I'm telling you right now. Like, the way that he is talking about this and treating this situation, and it has nothing to do with me. It's not happening to me. It's not happening to anybody I know. But I find it like really disgusting. And I would hope that she would take the time to kind of express to him like how awful of a person he's being about this. And I think that like this is a conversation worth having. Anthonyedwards continues to press her by saying, cause now you finna make a problem. She is going to make the problem by what? Finna make what a problem? Exactly. I don't give a fuck. I've been nice this whole time. I don't bother you. I don't cause problems, nothing. Don't speak to me like that. I told you I would because you want me to. So that's you talk about a life. Just be somewhat understanding. I told you I'll be home soon. If you're listening to this podcast or you're watching these YouTube videos, stop right now. Head over to what's her name's head over to this girl's Instagram, drop her a follow, and tell her head up, okay? Because nobody should be having to go through this, okay? Like, call me what you want, man. Like, this is a crazy thing that's happening right now. Anthonyedwards calms down a little bit and simply says, okay, just make sure I get the video of the box with the right pills. What other pills would they be, Anthony? Just making sure. So she sends a video. I don't know exactly what the video is. I'm assuming it's a video showing the box or her taking some of the pills. I don't know. Now, around this time she sent the video, it's showing Monday, November 27th at 8:40 p.m. And I guess he hadn't talked to her again and he just didn't plan on it because then on December 1st we get So I sent you what you asked, then it's fuck me. To which I can only imagine Anthonyedwards saw this text message because clearly he didn't block her, and his first thought was that Draymond Green clip. So after no reply on December 1st, on December 2nd, it's, so you're just going to ignore me now? My attorney gonna handle it. Which is probably something that somebody worth that much money and is like has the status that they have, is that it makes sense that they say that, especially being a 22-year-old. But it's just unfortunate because it seems as if at some point these two had some type of a relationship. And it's just sad that this is the way that it comes to a screeching halt. Like what a awful turn of events. You said we were handling it ourselves, and then when I do my part, you turn. Your turn, I imagine. Your attorney hasn't even responded. Just do what you said you would do. I did my part. You can send it within 48 hours. At this point, it sounds like we're talking about a ransom, but I imagine she's just expecting payment like he offered initially, and he still hasn't sent it yet, which is crazy because it looks like she already took the pills, which would be like very frustrating, I imagine, on her end if she's already like committed to doing this terrible thing that she's already gone through once before, with the expectation of some type of compensation. It still hasn't come through yet. I'd be very angry if somebody was just like, oh, my lawyer's got it now. It's in his hands. And he hasn't responded. So the silver lining here is that this girl does end up getting her money, and here's a screenshot of that. It's $100,000. And ladies out there, riddle me this, okay? Is this worth it? Is it worth it to be knocked up by a young NBA guy, to be disrespected like this, then have to go through the process of getting an abortion, and to kind of have to be publicly humiliated? Because it seems like I imagine the reason why these screenshots were shared initially is because the compensation wasn't being received on her end. And it's hard to go to an individual in your life and be like, hey, so I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like this before, but got in a relationship with this young NBA superstar, and he got me pregnant, and he's kind of a jerk and wants me to get an abortion, and he said LOL in the message. So I think he really, really does not give a fuck about me or this child. How do I go about getting compensation for this? Like, I wouldn't know what to do either. I'd probably also just post stories to Instagram. Man, I was talking to my wife about this before I started recording this, and this is really just a sign of the times, because I imagine things like this were happening all the time, but because we didn't have things like Instagram stories and screenshots and text messages, we would never know about a story like this. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I prefer it this way or not. I don't know, because I just wish I could watch the NBA, watch the Timberwolves play. I think they're the first seed right now. I don't know. Editor Derek, check on that.
They are.
The Timberwolves are playing so well this season. So I imagine Anthonyedwards is also having a good season. And now, how am I supposed to watch these games? How am I supposed to watch him play without thinking about the fact that he is kind of a terrible kid, man? Like, it really makes you wonder. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't come on to my show and be like, this person's parents failed them. But, like, what do you want me to say? Like we have the messages. Okay, this is how I'm going to end this video. Anthonyedwards made a statement, which honestly was probably the worst thing he could have done, because if he didn't make a statement, I wouldn't have believed that any of this happened. No, I'm not going to lie. And this is no shade towards victims or people that are sharing their stories or people that share screenshots, but it's just so unbelievably mean that I kind of just wanted to pretend like it wasn't real. But this is what Anthonyedwards had to say about this whole situation. I made comments in the heat of a moment that are not me and that are not aligned with what I believe and who I want to be as a man. All women should be supported and empowered to make their own decisions about their bodies and what is best for them. I am handling my personal matters privately and will not be commenting on them any further at this time. Here's the thing, man. I don't think saying get a abortion, LOL, is like a very heat of a moment thing, you know? I feel like there are too many text messages for us to not come to the conclusion that this might be who you are as a man, at least right now. All women should be supported and empowered to make their own decisions about their bodies and what is best for them. You clearly don't believe that, because this girl on multiple occasions expressed to you very clearly that she had an abortion before and it was very traumatic for her, to the point where she thinks about it and regrets it all of the time. And that did not stop you from saying, take this money and shut up. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't even go through the part of the conversation where he's like, send a video.
Send a video.
Send a video, because it just felt like a little bit too much. Like you guys already get the gist. Like it's all bad. But I just wanted to say that if you were going to release a public statement, this was terrible. Because first of all, if you didn't release a statement, once again, I wouldn't have believed that any of this happened. But also, it just goes to show that no matter how much somebody is publicly shamed or publicly humiliated, if you have enough money, if you have enough status, you either just won't care, I guess, or just think that you can do this like little notes app as apology and just feel like everything's going to be sweet. And here's the thing, Anthonyedwards. It's not, man. The internet lives forever, and I don't wish any bad upon the kid because he really is just a kid. He's 22, but we got to tighten up, bruh. Like as a league, as the NBA, as young black men, like we just gotta get it together because this is not it. I don't really have anything else to say about this. If you like content like this, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Apple or Spotify, leave me 5 stars, leave feedback. Love you, mean it. Enjoy the outro. And man, I wish we could just watch the game. What did Mark Jackson say?
What happened to the game I love?
Thank you so much for joining me in Derapy today. New sessions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Give me 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to my YouTube. It's free. And shout out Lobo for the beat.
Yes! Come to Papa!
Might just quit my job, but it's really not too hard, but it be draining me. She hates to see a place that do be paying me, but playing me. Need some advice, clock out and go home and talk to the wife. She's so supportive and trust I do right, but I don't want the judgment or shame that comes with the game of jumping ship too early. Beat is bumping surely, need that grease is curly. Talking about my hair is thick just like my kid's hair, but not till 30. Getting ahead of myself. Talking like there's 2 of me, but peep my podcast art, I'm working like it's triple overtime. I will go cuckoo for mine, all my dreams they are sublime. Wanted fame since I was 9, Lobo cooked this up divine. We go deeper, feel the vibe, we don't stop at season 3, feel like we is season 5. I'm at the peak of my power, I see prey I devour. If it's chess I'm the tower, thinking deep when I hit the shower. Dark thoughts, anxiety, I beat it all. Try again, then positive vibes, I let them in. Come join the boy, let's settle in. Keep it going hard, that's sediment. I do a lot with a few words, and that's like revenant. And that's funny, cause I'm a Leo. That's your ironic.
Why?
I don't believe in the signs, but I know I'm a star. Sun or moon, I'm like tune in, but don't look up. That's another Leo reference, now you shook up. Girls say men are dogs, but I just be in the yard.